Hello everybody, welcome or welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Whitney, and today I'm coming at you guys talking to you. As you can see in the title, we're back at it again with another story time. Today I'm gonna tell you guys about the time where my ex-boyfriend deadass tried to hook up with my best friend. Now I'm telling you about this because in this story you're going to find a lot of the times where there's going to be a lot of signs that Whitney ignored. Now hopefully throughout this story you can say ding 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 red flag, because that's not okay, and you can leave it down in the comments below whether or not Whitney was an idiot, because I'm sitting here and I'm like, Whitney, you should have seen this coming, because it's not like he hid it. So today I'm going to be continuing the story of Travis and how the things that me and him went through. I just want to make a disclaimer and say that I don't know who this man is today. I don't know who anyone in this story is today, because I'm not talking ill on anybody. I'm just talking on my experience that I had with them back in the day. So if they don't like what I'm saying, then you should have been a better person, right? But at the same time, I'm not saying that they're not a better person now. I'm just sharing my side of the story. So if you guys are interested in the story that I will share today, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe, and turn on your post notifications so you never miss when I post a new video. Let's get right on into the story, because I feel like it's really going to be a little bit of a long one. So this story dates back to when I was yet again working at Applebee's. I was working at Applebee's for about 4 years, and I was, at this point in time, I was kind of, I don't want to say I was working up in the ranks, but I was doing the damn thing, right? So there was times where I, kind of had my mishaps with customers, but that just kind of happens when you're working in the customer service field. Sometimes it's your fault, sometimes it's not. I started out as a host and I graduated to a server where I was able to make some more money. And so during this time I was involved with Travis. I started working at Applebee's when we started becoming a thing, or when we started being friends. X, Y, and Z, whatever, I really don't remember. Basically what I'm trying to say is that Travis didn't know me outside of Applebee's, right? So that's where I met my friends. That's where I basically built my whole, I think I was working at Applebee's for like a year by the time I met him. Anyways, so that's where I built my whole, foundation, basically, because that's where I learned customer service skills. That's how I learned how to talk to people. That's where I learned the different levels of respect people deserve. All of that. And that's where I learned, or that's where I gained my party friends, right? So there's one particular girl, right? We're gonna name her Bree. She was such a cool, down-to-earth person. She wasn't from here. She moved down, I think she moved down here and then got a job at Applebee's as well, like almost immediately. She was such a down person. She was happy with everyone. She was friends with like everyone in the building. She really had no problems with anyone, and she was also kind of like a free spirit. Like, I valued the way that she respected herself, the way she respected her body. Like, she was just like a really cool person. She never really had problems with anybody, for real. So it got to the point to where me and Travis were starting to become a thing, right? And while we're starting to become a thing, I'm starting to get comfortable and make friends here at Applebee's. So during this time, as I was getting closer to Travis on my outside life, within my work life, I was starting to make friends. We were starting to go party. We were starting to get closer. We were starting to be that family that everyone kind of wants when they're going to work, right? Like, even though you hate the job, at least to some certain extent, you want to at least have somebody that can have your back when you're going off, or basically have a family, right? And so Bree was a part of this family, and I was starting to get accustomed to this family as well. So this group of people, with Bree included, we all got close, right? It got to the point to where Bree even threw me a 21st birthday party, right? That's how close we were. Like, we have so many memories that whenever we link up, there's so many memories whenever we're talking about Applebee's, etc., what we did outside of Applebee's. It was just a vibe. Oh my god, I just had a memory that I don't even want to talk. I don't even want to talk about that memory. I don't want to talk about that memory. Oh my god, I don't want to talk about that. Anyways, so it was a good old time. So I'm just gonna go through this story, right? And you guys tell me whatever signs you see that may be important, right? Like, of course, now looking back, I'm like, yeah, that's important, but let's just move on forward. So throughout this time, I was kind of like a partier, right? Everybody goes through their phases of trying to be a partier. And so a lot of the times I would try to invite Travis out because, I was having fun, but he was in his studies, and a lot of the times I neglected my studies to have fun. So there was this point in time where we were going to the club, and I was finally able to get Travis to go out. I wanted him to meet my friends. I wanted him to, meet all the people that I was talking about. He would sometimes text my friends because I would be like, here, talk to them, you know, whatever. Like they would make jokes back and forth, etc., etc. They knew who he was because Travis would come to Applebee's and to visit, right? And they too would start to get comfortable around Travis because that's how often he was coming to Applebee's. It got to the point to where even Bree met Travis, and the nickname that Bree had for me was girlfriend. And so when I had a boyfriend, she nicknamed him boyfriend. So whenever we would talk, she'd be like, oh, how's my boyfriend doing? Or whenever she would talk to him, how's my girlfriend doing? You know, things like that. They were cool to the point to where they even followed each other on social media. Never thought anything of it. I trusted her. I trusted him. It is what it is. It just became a thing. Like, she would always call me girlfriend. Even to this day, whenever we link, well, even to this day, you know, I don't even talk to her like that anymore. And it's okay because there's just, the vibe is still there. If we were to ever link again, she still to this day calls me girlfriend, right? And so she don't call him boyfriend, but like, listen. So moving on, right? This is the night that finally Travis comes out. Travis is finally putting the face to everybody else's names. He already met them, but like basically he's gonna see how we party. So we go out to the club, you know, we're all having a good time, we're all dancing, we're chopping it up, we're shooting shit, right? Like, we're dancing at the club, we're having fun, and then we're getting to the point to where we're just kind of resting because, you know, everybody's winded and tired. Bree could dance. Some of the people in our group could not dance, but they were still dancing, right? Some people in our group just didn't even want to dance. Whatever it is, like, the whole dynamic there was fun. And so all of a sudden, Bree goes out to the dance floor, and Bree's, you know, doing her thing where she's basically, you know, like shaking her butt, doing whatever it is. Bree was the type of girl to wear jeans, sneakers, and like a crop top or something like that. She was like, I don't need nothing else. I don't need anything extra. It is what it is. And so all of a sudden, Travis goes out to the dance floor with her and he starts dancing with her. But he's not dancing like parallel, like, how do I want to say this? He's not dancing with her like like they're facing each other. No. He gets behind her and starts dancing on her, like grinding, right? And so Bree kind of looks at me on the side, like basically wondering, you know, is this okay? And I'm just like, you know, you're good. You're like, that's okay. Because I'm like, you know, that's all right. He came out, whatever, cool. And they're dancing, and then she's just like, yeah, but it was short-lived, right? It didn't last that long. It wasn't anything that I should have blown up for. It wasn't that serious, right? And so he comes back over here. He comes back, sits next to me at the table because everyone is just basically talking at this point. We take shots, we finish the night and at that club, and then we're moving on to the strip club. Now the strip club, bitch, I don't know if I should just tell you guys that story now because I'm basically telling you half of the other half of the story, but it was just, listen, that night was fun. I don't know if I'm gonna save that story time for a different time. That night at the strip club, a blast. Let's move on forward, okay? So on our way to the backwards. On our way to the strip club, right? We get in the car. It's just me and Travis. Everyone else is going to the strip club. We're following them. And I'm just kind of like, you know, Travis, how you liking my friends? He was like, oh, they're cool. I really like Bree. She's cool. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, she's a really cool person. That's basically our girlfriend. And I was like, but I didn't like you grinding on her. That was kind of a little bit too much. And of course, as a narcissist, he basically was like, you invited me out with your friends. You invited me out to have fun with your friends. And so if we're at a club, what do? You grind on people. So I'm trying to get comfortable with your friends so that way we can all have that vibe going. And of course, to me at that time, I was like, you know what? You're right. I appreciate that. I appreciate you coming out. But, you know, I feel like there's, you know, you could have danced with her, but you didn't have to grind on her. Like, that wasn't necessary. He was like, you know, I'm just trying to be comfortable with your friends. I'm just trying to have a good time. And I was like, okay, that's fair. And I believed him, and I thought I was wrong at that moment. Listen. Anyways, moving on. That night was fun. Now we're fast forwarding. Pretty much every time Travis would come into Applebee's, he would see Bree because she worked just as hard as I did, if not more. She was always working. I think she was actually a full-time server, correct me if I'm wrong, and I was only part-time because I was in school. Now, Bree was a couple years older than me as well. I think she's like 3 or 4 years older than me, and she would always come to me and just tell me about her life because I wanted to know. She was the type of person that was very, like I said, free-spirited, and she was very comfortable with her body too. if she wasn't, she faked it very well. She, like, I looked up to her because I was just like, you know what, tell me your stories because I'm too scared to do this. So like, just, of course I was also nosy, but the way that she lived her life, she seemed to have so much fun, and I was jealous. Like, I was jealous of her lifestyle because she seemed to just, you know, be so free spirited. And so of course, as we're talking more, as I'm talking to my girlfriend, Travis comes along and he's talking to her as well, and it's always a good vibe. We're always like vibing well. He really liked her, and he really liked the other people at my job too as well, but the main person he had in contact with was Bree. Moving forward, me and Travis start having this conversation of inviting somebody else into the relationship. Now, I used to feel like every guy wants this. Every guy is going to throw this in, whether or not their girl, you know, flows that way. If a girl is just a little bit curious, they're going to throw in the topic of threesomes. Now, I'm going to blink out that word. I'm not going to cover it, but threesomes, right? Sums, okay? They always want to talk about that. For some reason, guys just want it. And I'm not even going to say guys, like, generalize it. There's some guys that want it. And so he was talking about that. And at this point in time, you know, it was kind of like, I want to say it was kind of like I don't know if this point, no, it was throughout our relationship, right? So Travis had an option before dating me of dating one girl and me. He chose me, and he kind of held that over my head a little bit sometimes because he was like, well, the other girl was interested in threesomes and I gave that up for you, so you told me you were interested in this, but now you're not. And a lot of the times that kind of rubbed me the wrong way because I'm like, why are you pushing this onto me? And also, you used to always preach that I hold things over your head, but it's okay for people to change their minds, but right now it's not okay for me to change my mind. So it rubbed me the wrong way. And of course I was like, you know what, fine, I will be comfortable doing it if it's somebody I know. If I'm being 1000% real, I wasn't comfortable doing it, but I was going to do it anyways, right? And so we're talking about who we're going to invite in. All of a sudden, lo and behold, Travis says, what about Bree? And I'm like, well, no, because, you know, maybe I'm not comfortable with having somebody, you know, that close, someone that I know that well. Bree's a very attractive woman. She has a nice body, but just because she's bi doesn't mean we have to go that way, right? Like, no. I was like, maybe I'm not comfortable with that. Let's choose somebody I don't know, right? Like, let's choose someone random. At the end of the day, we ended up not having one at all because it just kind of fell through. I had to set my parameters, and he wasn't willing to meet at those parameters, as well as him. And he was like, there's a person that would do it with us, just go with them. And I'm like, you know what, like, we both have to be comfortable. It's not just, I mean, you're already getting the full package here, like, at least let me be comfortable, right? So it ended up falling through, and throughout our relationship there's just things here and there that just didn't work, and eventually we ended up breaking up. So now we're going to fast forward to the point to where me and Travis break up, and we're sitting outside my house. Now, I say this all the time, maybe not on here on YouTube, but I genuinely and truly think that me and Travis were just supposed to be friends, because at the end of the day, like, our core was friendship in a sense, and it got ruined by getting into a relationship. So we're sitting outside and we're just talking. We're talking like how we used to as friends, because really and truly he was one of my best friends before, you know, you started figuring out who people were and how you're not compatible with this person. So we're sitting outside my house and we're reminiscing, we're talking. I don't know how we got onto this topic, but all of a sudden Travis starts talking about Bree. He starts talking about how, like, he wouldn't mind jumping on that train, like he wouldn't mind climbing up that tree, you know, if it happens, it happens, like, you know, there's something that I kind of want, right? Like, and I was just like, no, don't go, that's my friend, don't go for my friend, like, she's not even gonna go for you anyways, don't go for her. And he was like, you know, you never know, she's a really cool dude, like, I'm just interested to see what she's like in bed. Here we go. Like, of course, throughout this whole relationship, you know what, I knew it. In my head, I'm like, niggas, why do niggas gotta be like this? Why do you always gotta go for the friend? Why can't you make your own friends? Find somebody else, right? And so in my head, I'm like, what? Like, no. And so I tell him, I was like, you know what? Try it. Let's see. Fine. Go ahead. Let's see what she says. Try it, right? Fine. He's like, all right, I'm gonna try it. Like, you know, he's just like, we're joking with each other, but I'm dead serious. I'm like, try it. Go ahead. Let's see if you can do that. Fast forward, I am no longer working at Applebee's. I am now working at a different location. It's a little bit more, I don't want to say upscale, but it's better food, better tips, you know, like it's a better environment, right? And so I go to work at this location, and Bree comes to visit me. And so Bree comes to bring her friend, and she comes to sit in the section, and I'm over there talking to her and her friend, and I was like, yo, Bree, I really got to tell you something. Like, she's, you know, I'm talking to her, and, you know, me and Travis broke up, and she's like, you know what, I heard that, like, I'm so sorry, you know, girlfriend, etc., etc. And I'm like, but listen though, listen, like, I know you won't do it, but I need to warn you about something. And she's like, what? I was like, Travis is gonna try to come at you. He's gonna try to come at you. He's gonna try to, you know, climb up that tree. And he was like, I just want to know what she's like in bed. And she's like, ew, no, not for me, not my type. She's like, you know, I wouldn't do that to you anyways. I was like, I know you won't. Like, that's why I'm letting you know now that when he does, you have full permission to go the fuck off. Just go off. And her friend is sitting, I'm not even gonna give her friend a name because she was just listening to our conversation, and she's just looking at us like that's disgusting. Like, why would, like the situation, she doesn't know Travis, but the situation, I would, if I was listening in on this conversation, I'd be like, gross, why would you go for the friend? But I do your thing. And I told her, I was like, you know what, when he tries, you know what to do. And she was like, bet. That same day, I pinky promise, swear I'm not lying, if it wasn't that same day, it was the day after that, because it happened so fast. He comments on one of her posts, because like I said, they're friends on social media. I never cared about that, whatever. He comments on one of her posts, and they're like, okay, haha, whatever. Bree sends me a text, and she was just like, I set him straight. And I was just like, what happened, you know? Basically, this is what I found out. I found out that Travis was commenting on Bree's, I don't know what he was doing. He was commenting on one of her, I think it was Snaps or Facebook. I don't know what it was. He was commenting on something. And they were like, LOL, back and forth. And he said something that was along the lines of like, you know, maybe we can go out to the club sometime. And she was just like, yeah, maybe, but don't think you're coming over here. Like, don't think you can bark up this tree. And he was like, what are you talking about? And then basically she was just like, I'm just letting you know that this is not the lane that you want to come down. I don't know specifically what happened. I don't remember specifically what she said, but basically she was just like, take your shit and take it somewhere else, right? Because I was cool with them partying. Like, at the end of the day, me and Travis were together for 4 years. So, and I worked at Applebee's for 4 years, 3 years of his term. But like, you make friends, and I'm not the type of person that's like, oh, those are my friends, you can't be friends with them. I mean, I am kinda, but like, if they go out, like, that's fine. I don't, whatever, who cares, right? And so after that happened, Travis hits me up, and he was like, did you tell Bree that I was gonna try to have sex with her? And I was like, yep. I said, yes, sure did. Like, and what? I told you to try. Did you do anything? Like, how'd that go for you? How'd that go? Right, because you're not supposed to go after the best friend, stupid. Like, I was like, of course it's not gonna work for you. Even if I didn't say anything, it wasn't gonna work for you at all. At all. Not at all, no sir. Because why were you going to do, like, someone please explain to me why guys think it's okay to go after the friend. And if the friend is okay with going after the ex, that ain't your friend. That's all I gotta say. Thank you guys for joining me today for this story time. I hope I pieced everything together for you guys. I don't think there's gonna be a lot of jump cuts, but anyways, regardless, I hope you guys enjoyed this story. If you did, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and also guys, don't forget to share this video. One thing that I want to mention is that I come on here to help everyone and anyone, even if it is just one person. So with that being said, you guys already know what to do. I have an advice platform here, so if you have anything that you're going through, leave it in, I was about to say leave it down in the comments below, but leave it in my email. I keep everyone anonymous unless said otherwise. Thank you guys for joining me today, and I hope to see you next time.